Marvel Cosmic Invasion is one of those games that seems simple on the surface, but the more you play, the more you realize the absurd care put into the smallest details. From the visuals to the interactions between characters, there's stuff there that goes unnoticed even by the most attentive fans. Today, we're going to dive deep into this universe and discover 7 hidden details that almost no one noticed, but that show just how special this game is. I'm Matthew, and the video starts right now.
Over and over, and I shall do it once more.
This is truly one of the coolest and most hidden things in the game. These secret level 10 skins are almost like a gift for the most dedicated players, the kind of reward that makes you feel like part of a secret club. The game doesn't hand this to you on a silver platter. There are no pop-ups, no warnings, nothing. Suddenly, you level up that character you love and boom, there's a new, completely unseen skin. It's a sense of discovery that reminds me of the old arcade days, you know? When secrets were discovered through pure curiosity, not by tutorials or YouTube videos. And the most interesting part is how these skins don't feel just cosmetic. They kind of tell a story of their own, a visual variation that calls back to a comic book arc, a what-if version of that hero. When I unlocked Star-Lord's alternative version, for example, I noticed the suit seemed to mix the colors of the old Nova Corps. This wasn't stated anywhere, but visually, it communicates a lot. It's as if the developers hid small tributes there for those who really care about the Marvel Universe. Another detail that makes this so special is the silence. The game never advertises these rewards, and that is a bold choice nowadays. Almost all current titles throw bonuses and microtransactions in your face. Marvel Cosmic Invasion does the opposite. It rewards dedication in a subtle way. It's something that speaks to the player who likes to explore, test, and master characters. This feeling of accidental discovery is rare in modern games, and that's why this secret skin system is so striking. I also think this changes how we play. Knowing, or discovering, that there is something waiting at level 10 completely changes your perception of progress. Suddenly, you aren't just evolving to get stronger, you're evolving out of curiosity, to see what the look will be, what reference they're going to make this time. It's the type of motivation that mixes gameplay with a love for lore. And honestly, that's what makes longtime fans keep playing even after finishing the campaign. These skins are a touch of discreet genius. They remind us that there is still room for secrets in modern games, and that not everything needs to be announced on a big screen. When a game trusts that the player will explore on their own, it creates a deeper connection. It's as if the game is saying, I know you're paying attention, so here's something just for you. And that, in times of automatic rewards, is something that feels truly special. This is the kind of detail that shows how Marvel Cosmic Invasion was made with absurd affection for the most attentive fans. Back in the Destromundo, the flying menagerie stage, in the middle of all that confusion of robots and flying ships, you barely notice it, but there they are. Surfstreak, the cybernetic dolphin, Lionheart, the lion, and Hip Hop, the kangaroo. Yes, the practically forgotten group, Brute Force. Only those who dove deep into obscure Marvel comics of the 90s will recognize these metallic faces in the background of the screen. It's the type of Easter egg that doesn't scream, "Look at me," but rewards those who see beyond the surface. The most curious thing is that Brute Force always had this urban legend aura within Marvel. It was a series about cybernetic animals created by corporations, an environmental critique riding the wave of the exaggerated 90s style. Later, it was retconned into the Weapon Plus project, the same one that gave origin to Wolverine. In other words, these crazy animals are technically in the same universe as Weapon X. And seeing this there, in Cosmic Invasion, is like excavating a lost line of Marvel history and finding a wink from the developers to those who knew this forgotten past. And honestly, this kind of thing gives a new layer to the game. It shows that the devs aren't just creating cosmic chaos for fun. They are building a galaxy full of references stitched together with care. Using brute force isn't just nostalgia, it's historical rescue. They could have filled the background with generic NPCs, but they chose something so specific it borders on unbelievable. It's the difference between a game with generic fan service and a game made by those who truly love the universe they are exploring. I remember when I first noticed this appearance, I had to pause the game just to confirm. I reviewed the scene several times, took screenshots, and thought, there's no way someone put hip-hop there on purpose. But yes, there he is, and the level of detail is impressive. The armors are an updated version of the comics, with metallic textures and even small lit lights. It's that type of reference that makes you respect even more the invisible work that goes into the backstage of a game. In the end, this brute force cameo is a reminder that Marvel has more layers than many people imagine, and Cosmic Invasion knows how to play with that. It's a silent homage, which doesn't need to be center stage to be significant. If you blinked, you probably missed it. But for those who saw it, it's like finding a piece of the past remodeled with love and respect. A secret hidden in plain sight, just the way every fan loves to discover. This is one of those references that only those who lived through the arcade era will get immediately. The hop sacks, those short enemies with huge sacks that appear in various stages of Marvel Cosmic Invasion, are a direct homage to the gnome thieves from Golden Axe. And the funniest thing is that their behavior is almost identical. They appear suddenly, hit you quickly, and run away with that air of catch me if you can. It's the kind of detail that seems simple, but carries a giant effective memory for those who grew up taking beatings from these gnomes after a difficult level. What makes this reference so brilliant is how it fits naturally within the game universe. The hop sacks don't seem out of place. They really function as enemies that carry resources and bonuses, as if they were an organic part of Cosmic Invasion's logic. But for those who know the origin, it's impossible not to smile seeing that classic escape movement, the sack swinging on their backs, and thinking, this is pure Golden Axe. It's a subtle nod to the root beat-em-ups, when the reward came from kicking small, colorful thieves in the middle of the night. And it's curious how this memory converses so well with the spirit of the game. Marvel Cosmic Invasion celebrates exaggeration, absurd combos, chaotic battles. All of this was born from the DNA of classic beat-em-ups. So, putting a tribute to Golden Axe right there in the middle is more than an inside joke. It's a way of recognizing where this style was born. It's as if the game said, we came from here, and we haven't forgotten. I love how the team doesn't make a fuss about this. There's no text explaining it, no explicit reference. It's something you discover by playing, observing, remembering, exactly how it was in the 16-bit era. It's almost a gesture of respect to the old-school community, a way of speaking to those who grew up playing in rental stores and arcades without needing forced nostalgia. It's an Easter egg that rewards memory, not just progress. These small touches are what make Marvel Cosmic Invasion special. It manages to be modern without giving up the soul of the classics. Every hop sack that crosses your path is like a reminder. Behind the next-gen graphics and cosmic explosions, the heart of a good beat-em-up still lives there. The kind that taught you to kick fast to recover your potions. And this type of homage, subtle, fun, and full of affection, is something few games do so well today. This is one of those secrets that doesn't need a big explanation to be charming. In Marvel Cosmic Invasion, during the Destromundo stage, you can find small pink creatures looking like little alien axolotls trapped in capsules. If you pay attention to the scenery or simply have the instinct to explore, you can free them. And the curious thing is that the game doesn't reward you directly. There's no loot, no message on the screen, just those little creatures swimming happily through the air, as if they were silently thanking you. It's a subtle and beautiful moment inside a game that is generally pure chaos. These aliens seem to have no direct link to anything in Marvel, at least not officially. The closest thing would be Sobunar of the Depths, an obscure maritime being from the publisher's Cosmic Stories. But deep down, the reference doesn't matter as much. What matters is the contrast. In the middle of destruction, ships, lasers, and metallic enemies, you suddenly find something cute, delicate, an emotional pause that breaks the rhythm and makes you remember that there are small beauties hidden even in the most intense games. It's brilliant how Cosmic Invasion inserts these moments without explanation. It's almost an invitation to curiosity. You see a transparent tank and think, can I interact with this? When you discover that yes, you can, you feel rewarded not with points or upgrades, but with a little piece of different life. It's a type of design that speaks more to the player's emotion than to the gameplay system, and that is rare nowadays. And I love how this part awakens the explorer inside whoever is playing. Those who run through, focused only on enemies, will probably never see these little creatures. But those who observe, those who explore, are surprised by this small and unexpected scene. It's almost like the environmental Easter eggs that games like Metroid and Ori know how to hide so well. No fanfare, just atmosphere and discovery. It's a touch of humanity in a game about cosmic wars. These axolotl aliens are the secret little heart of Marvel Cosmic Invasion. They have no practical purpose, but they have soul. And that is what makes this detail so unforgettable. It's not something you need to find. It's something the game leaves there for those who want to look a little beyond the surface. In a world of superpowers and destruction, seeing life being freed is a simple detail, but one that says a lot about the care of those who created this universe. This is the kind of detail that goes unnoticed by most, but when you realize what it means, it's simply genius. Taskmaster drops a line where he calls Tony Stark Iron Man boss, and this seems like just a quick little joke, but actually it is an absurdly specific reference to 90s comics. In that era, Iron Man's identity was kind of confusing. Tony publicly insisted that Iron Man was his private bodyguard, not himself. So hearing Taskmaster use this expression is like a direct wink to the fans who remember this somewhat strange and fun phase of Marvel. The best part is that this type of reference isn't explained or highlighted. It simply happens, the way the best homages happen. Taskmaster has always had this mocking and meticulous side, so it makes total sense for him to use the term like someone making fun of the great Tony Stark, the boss of Iron Man, as if he still took the charade seriously. It's subtle humor, made for those who know the character's history and like these meta-narrative touches that Cosmic Invasion spreads naturally. And this moment shows something incredible about the care of the game's writers. They know how to balance the comic and ironic tone of the Marvel Universe without making the writing feel forced. It's a dialogue of a few seconds, but full of historical context, showing that the team understands who these characters are, not just in the present, but in all their crazy comic phases. Taskmaster mocking Tony this way is the verbal equivalent of a visual Easter egg. It passes quickly, but it stays with you if you understand it. The most fascinating thing is how Marvel Cosmic Invasion manages to include inside jokes like this without pushing away those who didn't get the reference. For those who don't know the story, it seems just like a funny and irreverent dialogue. But for those who know the backstage of old comics, it's a tasty reminder of the era of Tony's corporate lies and how the writers of the 90s juggled to keep his identity secret. It's the type of niche humor that few games risk including, but here it works perfectly. This small moment is proof that Cosmic Invasion isn't just visual spectacle. It is also made of intelligence, subtlety, and affection for the source material. Iron Man boss might seem like any random line, but it perfectly sums up the spirit of the game. A mix of modern action with absolute love for the comic era that molded these characters. It's the kind of thing only someone who truly loves the Marvel Universe would have the guts to add. A nerdy gift hidden inside a common dialogue. This is one of those references so unexpected that they seem like an inside joke among the developers. When Phoenix, Jean Grey, uses some of her psychic attacks, she lets out a PK Fire, or in some versions, TK Fire, and anyone who has played Earthbound or knows Ness from Smash Bros. Recognizes that sound instantly. The tone, the cadence, the echo, it's practically identical. It's the type of cultural crossover that has no official explanation, but that mixes universes in a fun and extremely nerdy way. And the most incredible thing is how this matches Jean. She is a character who concentrates pure psychic energy, and the idea of psychokinetic fire, or telekinetic fire, makes sense within her logic of power. So, even being an obvious joke with Ness's PK Fire, the line works organically in context. It's almost like an unlikely fusion between Japanese RPG and American comic. Two completely different languages united by a simple line. It's one of those instances where the longtime fan feels their brain click. Wait, I know that sound. What makes this detail so fun is how much it plays with nostalgia. Earthbound is one of the most cult RPGs of the 90s, especially among those who grew up with the Super Nintendo, and hearing something similar in a Marvel game is like a small portal in time. It's as if the developers said, we also grew up with these games, and yes, we want to mix everything up. It's a subtle gesture, but it shows how much the team understands the power of small references that touch the player personally. And the most curious thing is that many people simply don't notice, because the scene is fast, and the sound can get lost in the middle of heavy combat effects. But for those with sharp ears, the connection is immediate and irresistible. It's the type of Easter egg you discover by chance and can't stop thinking about afterward. It's also a reminder that Smash Bros. And Earthbound, with all their eccentric aesthetics, still influence developers worldwide, even in the most Western and cinematic productions. In the end, Phoenix's PK Fire is a reference small in size, but giant in meaning. It's a bridge between different gaming cultures, between the introspective Japanese RPG and the American superhero epic. A symbol of how the love for video games is universal and crosses borders. And this, coming from a game like Marvel Cosmic Invasion, is a gift for the most attentive fans. That type of connection that only those who really grew up with a controller in hand will catch. This is one of those moments that seems like a simple dialogue, but actually carries absurd lore weight. When the Watcher appears and drops that line that he cannot intervene in the Annihilation Wave invasion, even with everything happening literally in his house, it seems like just the Watcher being the Watcher, distant, neutral, almost cold. But if you know his history in the comics, this moment turns into something else. It becomes irony, character evolution, and a huge wink to cosmic Marvel fans. Because way back in his debut, he wasn't so neutral. In his first appearance against the Red Ghost's Super Apes, the Watcher breaks his own oath and interferes directly, helping the Fantastic Four. It was that looser phase of Marvel, where the concept of non-intervention was still under construction. The oath existed, but it was much more flexible in practice. So when the game puts the Watcher saying he can't do anything, while the Annihilation Wave devastates what is practically his backyard, it's as if he were finally taking the oath seriously. And this speaks volumes to those who read Annihilation. In the more recent cosmic sagas, the Watcher assumes this role of absolute witness, carrying the weight of seeing everything and not lifting a finger. His pain is exactly that, knowing too much and acting too little. Cosmic Invasion captures this with a single line. It's almost cruel, because you feel he wants to intervene, that he knows the gravity of the Annihilation Wave, but at the same time is trapped by his own promise. It's cosmic philosophy compressed into a dialogue that passes in seconds. The coolest thing is that the game doesn't hold your hand to explain any of this. There is no text box saying, reference to Fantastic Four number 13, or read Annihilation to understand better. It's a hidden gift for those who have already walked this path in the comics. For those who only know the Watcher superficially, it's a strange line from an enigmatic being. For those who know the history, it's a reflection of his journey, from the guy who broke the oath back in the beginning, to the observer who is now condemned to watch even his own house be attacked without being able to react. In the end, this scene is the type of detail that shows why Marvel Cosmic Invasion converses so well with the most hardcore Marvel fans. It's not just about having a famous character on screen, it's about respecting their trajectory, including the contradictions. The Watcher saying he cannot intervene precisely there, where everything started to go wrong, is ironic, sad, and perfect at the same time. And if you've read Annihilation, this line stops being just a script line and becomes a reminder of how the cosmic side of Marvel can be much deeper than it seems.